Class 10, welcome back to biology, and we are going to see lesson number 8, the circulatory system. This is the first lesson in the human anatomy and physiology. In this system we are going to see about the different kind of fluids, the blood, the tissue fluid and the lymph, and then we are going to see in detail about the blood, functions of the blood little bit we'll see, and then we'll see above all the important part is the heart, the structure of heart and function of heart. So we'll see about blood. The blood is never stationary, as you know very well. It's continuously moving in the body, right? The color and the volume, you know very well about this. I'll touch the part of the function of the blood. As you know very well, it transports the digested food from the alimentary canal to the tissue. These substances are simple sugar like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, mineral salts. These all are transported by the blood, right? Then blood transport oxygen. As we know, when we breathe, the RBC receives oxygen and turns to oxyhemoglobin particle, and then it reaches out to the all tissues and cells of the body, right? Transports oxygen, then it transports carbon dioxide back to the lungs, right? It transports excretory material from the body to the kidney and liver and skin to eliminate them. It helps to distribute hormones to the different respective places. As you know, endocrine glands secretes hormones into the blood, and then it reaches the target point and become activate, right? And distribute the heat of the body. So that's why your body remains warm and is not feeling become cold. But when you die, the body becomes cold because the blood stops circulating, right? There are different works of the blood as well. Number second is about the protection by the blood. It forms a clot, which the clot stops the blood loss, and we do not die by bleeding. Then the blood contains the WBC, which are the soldiers of the body, and they fight against the diseases, the pathogens in the body. The blood produces antitoxin and antibodies, which neutralizes the poisonous substances or eliminate the pathogen enter in the body, right? Blood contains two parts, plasma and cellular elements. The liquid part we call plasma, fluid part, and the cellular elements are red and white blood cells and platelets. So these are the constituents of the blood. Few basic things. Now RBC, the other word for the RBC is erythrocytes, right? These are minute biconcave disc-like structure, flat in center and thick and rounded at the periphery. Since it is biconcave, it can accumulate more of the oxygen, right? They are very small in size, 7 micron, right? And these RBCs do not have the nucleus, right? So it because of not having the nucleus, it has extra space to receive more of the oxygen, so we can have more oxygen in the body, right? Hemoglobin is the effective chemical constituent of the RBCs, made up of the two parts. The first part is the iron part containing iron, so we call hemin, and the other part is a protein part we call globulin. So this is together we have one word called hemoglobin. When it receives the oxygen, it turns to oxyhemoglobin. It really this oxyhemoglobin make a weak bond, unstable bond with the RBC, with the hemoglobin. When it reaches the required cell or the tissues, oxygen is liberated and it receives carbon dioxide, right? So make sure that you keep in mind that it makes an unstable compound, oxyhemoglobin, right? On the contrary, if it receives carbon monoxide, it makes a stable compound with strong bond. So that's why people die because of the carbon dioxide poisoning, carbon monoxide poisoning, right? This is one thing which you keep in mind. If you are in the closed room, and you might have heard about this in the previous classes, carbon monoxide poisoning. So this is the reason, because carbon monoxide make a very strong bond with the hemoglobin. So it is difficult to release into the lungs, and person dies because of the less of oxygen. Right? This is about the RBC. Now WBC. The other word for the WBC is leukocytes. Different from the red blood cells, having a nucleus and do not contain hemoglobin. On the contrary, RBC contains hemoglobin and no nucleus. Right? The number is much less, usually about 4,000 to 8,000 per mm cube of blood, millimeter cube or cc. Right? These are WBCs are amoeboid and can produce pseudopodia. You know amoeboid structure. I just put a word here. You can see the resembling amoeba and produces pseudopodia. So it can move the way amoeba moves, right? And it can easily squeeze to the walls of capillaries into the tissues, and that is we call diapedesis. As and when required to move out of the capillaries into the tissues, it can squeeze out from the place. Can you see the diagram? Diapedesis. In the second diagram, you can see that it's oozing out slowly, and then third and the fourth one. And they comes out in the tissue and then fight against the pathogens. WBCs are having two main parts, granular and non-granular. When we say granular, there are three types of cells in this: neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Whereas the non-granular, again, there are two types of cells: lymphocytes and monocytes. They are having their own function. For example, if you take a look at the granular part, and first one, neutrophil, it kills the bacteria, the pathogens. So we call it phagocytosis. Same kind of work is done by the to killing of the pathogens by the monocyte also. Right? It ingests germs. Now WBC works in the couple of different ways. First one is, as we just talked about, the engulfing. The other word is phagocytosis. They just swallow or eat up the pathogen enter in the body. Abnormal increase of the in WBC count up to 50,000 or more, and indicates some infection in the body. So you might have noticed that when you are having an infection disease and not getting cure, doctor send you for the medical blood test. They write WBC test. So they immediately understood that there is infection in the body by looking at the number. Then inflammation. It occurs due to the reaction of the tissue to injury or the localized invasion of the germs. If some kind of germs enter and affects the particular part of the body, there you can get we call it swelling, right? Inflammation. That is, then we can see the spot become generally heat is there, it becomes red, and you can feel a swelling or pain. Indicates infection is there. Now here the leukocytes, generally the monocytes and neutrophils, as we just talk about. Both the works of both of them are, as we just talked, to this engulfing the bacteria, and the monocytes ingest the germs, right? So they kill the invading germs. So this WBC, especially the monocytes and the neutrophils, they make a way to diapedesis and fight against the disease causing germs and destroy damaged cells by phagocytosis. Now pus, many times you might have heard the word pus, is mainly composed of the dead white blood cells together with the tissue cells destroyed by the bacteria. So in doing so, in the phagocytosis, when they try to fight and destroy the germs, the pathogens, many of the white blood cells also are destroyed. So they turn into the form of pus and comes out. Right? Then formation of antibodies is very important. WBC, especially lymphocytes, produces antibodies which kill or neutralize the germs or the poison from the germs. Introducing the weakened germs into the body in the form of vaccination, right? Which forms the antibodies which later part of the life turns to fight against the disease causing germs. Now antibodies is very important word, or the antitoxin. This is very important. You just get this thing in your mind. When disease causing germs gain entry into the bloodstream, they produces poisonous substances. They release actually. They produce or they release the toxin which we call poison. So in response, the lymphocytes of the blood, the WBC, they produce chemical substance called antibodies. To fight that toxin, WBC produce antibody. An antibody specific to the toxins for which they are produced, the antibodies act as an antitoxin. This antibody produced by the WBC leukocytes, they act as an antitoxin to neutralize the toxin produced by the germs. Right? The way we learn in the chemistry, acid-base reactions which neutralizes the acidity or the basicity and form a salt. Same way here, WBC produces antibodies which neutralize the toxin by releasing antitoxin. Right? Now this is very important part of the blood. Again, the blood platelets, thrombocytes. These platelets helps for the clotting of the blood. They are minute, oval or round structure, non-nucleated. It does not have nucleus. About 2 lakh to 4 lakh per cubic millimeter of the blood in an adult, derived from some giant cells called megakaryocytes in the red bone marrow. These are buffed off from the megakaryocytes in a manner that each one is completely surrounded with membrane. Right? They are very important in clotting of the blood. At the site of injury, platelets disintegrate to release chemical substance thrombokinase, which initiates the process of clotting of blood. This is very important. If you do not get a clotting of the blood on your injured body part or the wound, you will continuously bleeding, right? And which may result in the death, right? In the clotting, this is a very important thing you must understand. The main reactions in the clotting is very important. It says injured tissue cells and platelets, they release the thromboplastin, right? And which work on the prothrombin with the calcium ion. So when thromboplastin is released by the injured part of the platelets, which works on the prothrombin, turns into the thrombin. Prothrombin is inactive, but when it comes in contact with the thromboplastin, with the calcium ion, it turns into the thrombin, becomes very active, like an enzyme. And this thrombin act on the fibrinogen, which turns into fibrin, insoluble thread-like network, which stops the clotting, which stops the bleeding from the wound. This thread-like structure, thread-like network, slowly stop the bleeding. Right? Now, this you can see in the test tube also. In some blood, if some blood is taken in the test tube, a clot will form in a usual way, and serum squeezed out from the clot will collect on the surface. Right? Can you see the test tubes in the diagram? If the number of platelets falls to an abnormally low count, the coagulation or the clotting stops or becomes slow, and bleeding continues. Then this happens in the dengue fever, right? And people die. And then you might have heard about the blood groups. You might have heard about the blood group A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, AB and O. So this is again very important for the patient. If I and you do not know the patient's blood group, we may make mistake and person may die. So when you say blood groups, the blood group A contains antigen on the RBC A. So when you say blood group A is there, it means it has antigen A on the RBC. It means it has anti-B in the plasma. Same way, blood group B contains antigen B and anti-B in the antibodies in the plasma. And when we say blood group AB, it has antigen A and B on the RBC and no antibodies. While on blood group O, no antigen on the RBCs, and it has both the anti-B and anti-A in the plasma. And then now, if you know about this, you take a look at the table 8.2 in the textbook here. This is very important to understand that blood group, a person with the blood group AB is universal recipient, and blood group O is a universal donor. So it can donate. Person having a blood group O can donate to anyone, A or B or AB, because the reason is antigen. That antigen makes difference, right? When you say blood group A does not have antigen, any kind of antigen. So if a person with a blood group A has antigen A, cannot receive antigen B. When it receives antigen B, it clots and person die. So in this case, when the blood group O is there, no antigen, it means it does not have A or B. So we can give the blood group O to the person with the blood group A or B or AB, because it does not have any antigen, right? And same way, a person with the blood group AB, it becomes universal recipient because it can receive any kind of say blood group A or B or O blood, because it does not have any antibodies, so no reaction. This is very important, and this is very helpful for the patients. Now we are going to see about the heart in the next video. So when we start the next video, we are going to see about the structure of heart.